Hey guys, I'm Mallory Varner with GSG, and I'm the Vinyl Decorating Segment Manager. So we are at the end of our series with Avery. We are doing Creating the Holiday Spirit, where we have partnered with 6 of our manufacturers to create some holidays, different craft ideas, and different tips and tricks for all of you. So this one is a 3-part series with Avery Dennison, who is a leader in pressure-sensitive material for different sign shops, designers, anyone in our industry. So they are going through, they've made some great things in part 1 and 2. If you haven't seen it, check it out and be sure and stay tuned at the very end where I'm going to tell you how to win $500.
My name is Molly Waters, and we're here today. This is a 3rd video in a series that we're working with GSG on how to use our films for various crafts, holiday crafts.
And I'm Destiny Rotuno, and today we're going to show you a couple of ways to make wine glasses. We picked wine glasses because we were thinking of something that you can use during, if you're hosting a holiday event, you can have the guests use during and take home with them. Especially right now, you don't want to be drinking out of anyone else's glass. So you can make sure these are really personalized for all of your attendees who are coming, and then they get to take it home with them. What's better than that?
So these also, they make great gifts. For the last 3 or 4 years, I've been making these, not usually these size, but more the coffee cups, with the different graphics on them. So what we did here, this is, I believe this is our cast film again, just because it's a little bit thinner and these cups aren't perfectly flat. We want something that's going to conform to the shape a little bit better. So this first one, we had done something simple, and actually Destiny's weeding another one. This is just a Christmas tree with some little, it's pretty small, pretty intricate. So actually we talked about in a previous segment, you asked about dishwasher. I wouldn't put these in the dishwasher when you make them because they're pretty small, a little fragile. They'll hold up to a washcloth, but they're just to protect it a little bit from the heat from the dishwasher. So we got one here. We're going to put a graphic on.
We need to clean the cups ahead of time. Anything like when we buy them from the store?
Yeah. So I've actually got alcohol here, but not the fun kind. So I'm going to actually
not the one you're putting in.
Yeah. I'm going to spray that onto my towel here. It's just rubbing alcohol that is the regular 70% alcohol. So you don't have to put it in a spray bottle. I just happen to have it in one. So I use it a lot for other cleaning. So I wipe that down, let it dry. And we have this fun little, it's so little less child friendly. So this one says Blitzend, and it has a reindeer, and I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's got a red nose on it. So we used the cutting by color feature on my silhouette when I set it up. So we told it to cut the black, and then we had it cut the red. So again, I'm peeling the liner off of the backing with the graphic, and I do that to make it easier. It releases better, and you reduce the risk of pulling your letters back up. So this is a little bit more of a challenge because this isn't perfectly flat. So I definitely want to use the application tape that is the clear that has some stretch to it. If you use the paper, it makes it a little more challenging. But I'm going to lay this on here. This has a curve here. I'm going to try and stay up above the curve as much as I can, trying to be straight. And then I'll use my thumb, and I'm going to do the center of it and then work my way out. Now, when you're doing these,
it wrinkles a little bit when I'm putting it on.
Good question. I was just getting ready to say. So if it wrinkles, you can use heat. A hair dryer is a good source of heat. And if that happens, you can try and pull it. Sometimes you just can't get around it. And in that case, you can try and cutting this into pieces where I do the Blitzend on its own and then the reindeer head. And if that still doesn't work, it may be necessary to scale that down. You might just have to make it a little bit smaller. I've done Christmas ornaments where I struggled with the image I wanted to use, and I ended up just having to make it a little bit smaller so it fit onto that ornament better. So,
And
then
you
here
put down
again.
the wine to finish the project. No, I'm kidding.
So now when I'm taking this application tape off, instead of pulling it straight out, I'm going to pull it back on itself. These are, again, this is pretty intricate. So if I pull it back like this, I can keep an eye first off to see if the letters are lifting. And if they are, I can tap them back down. But it also helps if I pull straight out, it's also trying to pull the film back up with it. And this way it's breaking that bond and leaving the graphic or my decal in place.
Do you notice that a little bit more when it's at like some of those more intricate fonts and kind of more detailed?
Yeah. And these cups here, it's got I think it's a powder coat paint on top of them, and they tend to be a little bit harder to stick to. So I may even take a hairdryer to this just to kind of help set it in, I have the felt side of my squeegee, but if you don't have that, I've heard of people using tennis balls. They'll heat it up and they'll use that tennis ball because it's soft and it's you got that fuzzy material on it, and the tennis ball will conform a little bit to that surface. So it's a pretty good idea for helping push the film into place on something that's got a texture to it. But this is our little Blitzen coffee cup. And then
So again, these are fun. These are a nice thing to have for if you're hosting a party, for people to take with them. If you're, a little classier, you want to give something gifts. If you don't want Blitzen with the reindeer, as adorable as this is, on your coffee cups for your guests when they come to your parties. We have also used our vinyl in a different way. We wanted to showcase how else you can use it. We have a lot of scrap black vinyl lying around from various projects. So we wanted to showcase a way that we can use it a little bit differently. So what we've done here is we've actually used our vinyl as a stencil. You can do that with, again, we used our cast vinyl on this, and we used it as a stencil to show some glass etching over here. We put the etching in the middle. You can do the same thing on really any project. You could do it on even the wood if you didn't have vinyl to apply there, but you had some scraps. Maybe you didn't like the color, but you wanted to make sure you were getting that font. You could use the vinyl as a stencil and then paint in there on the last project that we showed, or even on here. You could do, if you don't like glass etching, you could do paint or whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah, one fun project I did, I also have a 3D printer, and I made little surfboards for my niece's American Girl dolls. So I printed these surfboards, and they were pretty plain. So I took the vinyl and I went online, found some cool designs, and then made stencils, put the vinyl on, and then I spray painted over that and then pulled that off. And then those surfboards had the design built in, and then I sprayed a clear coat over the top of the whole thing. So it was a fun little project, but again, a way to use scrap film that you have laying around.
Yep. So you really don't need to do anything different when you are cutting for this project. You just need to weed the opposite that you would typically weed for the other type of glasses. What came in handy for these, I spent a while weeding some of these yesterday. You have the little tiny sections that you need to get out. This pin tool came in so handy for that because it's just small and you had to get out those little flecks of the Christmas tree on these. So this tool definitely came in handy for those small pieces.
I know a lot of people will use like tweezers or something, and I've tried that, but I always end up going back to the pin tool just because it helps. And I think everybody's got their preference, but for me, that pin is the best route. So basically we reverse weeded this. Instead of weeding the matrix away, we weeded away our design. And then I still used this clear application tape, and I use that because it will stretch. So I needed something that's going to help me conform because these cups are pretty contoured as compared to the other. And I put that application tape on, and I, just like on these other cups, I started in the center and then I worked out, and you can see I still have some wrinkles here, but that doesn't really matter because this is going to get taken off and thrown away. Now I took this etching cream. I got this at my local craft store. I went to a Michael's, they carry it in stock. And then you just take a little paintbrush and you brush that onto the design. And Actually, we can do that. We brush it on and you let it sit for about 3 minutes. I'm gonna let you do that while we talk. And what you end up with is it's a really light etching. And actually we did this one right at 3 minutes, and we're actually going to let this next one sit for a little bit longer, and we'll supply a picture of that when it's complete. But these are nice, and you could do something that's generic, not specific to a holiday. If you didn't want to have Christmas cups year round or little Christmas trees, there's some more adult oriented, sayings that you could have on there that are fun, kind of like the Get Blinson. There was one that said totally sober, which I thought was funny. But you can put those on these cups. And again, they can be gifts, or you can just have them to help identify your cup when you're having a party, especially with the stemless glasses. You don't have the little things that go around the stem to identify your cup. But just a couple different ways, you can do little party favors.
Yeah, again, we all know you all have those drawers of vinyl that you're probably going to never use that color again. So this is a really awesome way to use it, just to use it as a stencil for all those projects that you want to get completed.
I think it's great. And it matches. I mean, if y'all have seen part 2 of the video where they made that tray, I think that's a great gift. Some wine glasses and a tray. Awesome gift.
Put that on our tray.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Destiny, you got to take that home too then.
I know. I'm gonna have a really cool suitcase.
Yeah, she's gonna leave me some vinyl scraps, and then she's gonna leave her craft
Yep.
projects. So.
Definitely.
But again,
thank you both.
We had mentioned in the other segments, but I'll mention it again here. The tools. The pin tool is a great thing to have. This helps you pick the film up when you're weeding. To get, instead of using your fingernail or a knife, because a knife you could actually cut the film. Then we do have knives with the breakaway blade, so that when your knife's dull, you can actually take this and you snap that blade off. And then there's actually, I have a blade disposal box. I always put those in so that I don't leave them laying around for myself to kneel on or my puppy to get into. And then they retract. So that's the nice thing, when you're finished using it, you always try and retract it and set it back down. And then our squeegees, we got the felt edge of the squeegee, which is soft, has a little bit of a give to it. So if something's textured, it'll help conform around it. And then that hard edge, a lot of times we'll use to put our application tape on. So we've got a piece here, and we can squeegee that down and put it into place. So
that's the end of our series of videos. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed the projects that we completed, and I hope you got some good ideas for your holiday parties coming up this year.
Thanks, ladies. That was great. Everyone loves a tumbler, wine cup, anything. And I love doing that little bit of edged, just something different. It's always nice to get as much usage out of your vinyl scraps and everything as possible. So thank you so much for that tip. And for all 3 of the videos that Avery has done for us, definitely, again, check them out, part 1, part 2, and 3, or the rest of our series in this Creating the Holiday Spirit. All right, so how do you win $500? You need to get some Avery vinyl and make a cool project like one of the ones they did, or you can be creative and do it on your own. And you can tag me on Facebook at GSG Vinyl Decorating or Instagram, and then hashtag Creating the Holiday Spirit. I need you to tell me in there what Avery materials you use and any details you want to give me about what you did to create that project. You also can email me all of that information if you prefer at vinyldecorating@gogsg.com. Thank you guys so much for watching this 3-part series, and get to crafting so I can see all these things and give someone $500.